What's up, Legion? Welcome to I Still Call It a Lariat. We are a pro wrestling podcast. As I've said in the past, we are now upgraded. We are the mediumest pro wrestling podcast in the entire world. The world. With me to talk NXT and AEW this week is, wait for it, my boy Hound. How you doing, Hound Dog?
Well, I mean, apparently there's people behind us applauding, and that just freaked me out. But I am wonderful, man.
That was amazing.
It's just high quality stuff over here on I Still Call It a Lariat. I love it. Now, Legion, lovely to speak to you again, Steve. Great to see you, my man. I am loving the new Harry Potter closet studio.
Harry Potter room studio, bro. It cuts down on my echo a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it's
smaller room as you bring up.
Yeah, yes, we will go with that. No, man, I'm happy for you, dude.
Don't worry, Legion. There is more over in this region here. It is very much like a Harry Potter closet. I have a little cot here. It's okay. It's where my wife makes me sleep because, well, she's smart.
The new name of the studio is Platform 9 3/4. I love it.
It is. It's Studio 9 3/4.
Yeah. And when I come down to Florida to visit, we will laugh when we realize I can't duck into your studio.
No, it's going to be so bad if we both try to record in here at the same time.
Oh, yeah, no, all your figures are coming off the wall. The flag.
The wall is coming off the wall.
The wall is coming off the wall. But yeah, Legion, happy to be back. Looking forward
Legion, welcome to this type of episode. It seems like we're going down this road again already.
I'm looking forward to chitting the chat. It will be a good time, man. But yeah.
All right, Legion, let's talk nonprofit organizations. As always, the first one that we're going to talk about is Tap Cancer Out, a series of jiu-jitsu tournaments that helps out with Alex's Lemonade Stand, American Brain Tumor Association, Isabella Santos Foundation, Little Pink Houses of Hope, Camp Sunshine, Christopher's Haven, the Sidney Kimmel Comprehensive Cancer Center at Johns Hopkins, CureCervicalCancer.org, First Ascends, the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, and of course, everyone's favorite, Tom Coughlin's J-Fund.
The J-Fund. I can't wait to come down by you, man, and go see more of the Tom Coughlin J-Fund in person.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one. I felt good. Like you made that J-Fund your bitch.
It's it definitely gave rumblies and the tumblies.
The other one that we are loving talking about is anything involving the American Red Cross right now and their disaster reliefs, between everything involving the end times as we are in with wildfires in the Northwest and hurricanes and blizzards in Florida, apparently, and, you know, birds flying backwards, whatever it is.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
It's crazy. Locusts. They help out in so many different ways, and folks, we implore you to help them out. And as Hound says all the time, when you help, it will make you feel better about you, and it will make you want to help more.
Mm-hmm. It's a positive thing, folks. It's a super positive thing. Like, social media is a really negative self-feedback loop, but helping others is a positive self-feedback loop. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And the last one, and this is cool because they are doing some other cool stuff now, and that is Chris Bay's GoFundMe. Mecca Pro Wrestling in Nevada is doing a show, and there are a lot of people helping out with this show now. I believe I saw Ricochet is going to be on there. Karrion Kross is going to be on there. This is one of his original home promotions, apparently. I'm excited about this, that all these people are now helping out with this show. Obviously, they will have TNA talent on there and things like that. This is looking to be a big show, and the proceeds are going to help out with Chris Bay.
It's a beautiful thing. I love the the nonstop forward momentum and positive news that we get about this. It's far too often an injury like this. Once the negatives start, it feels like the dominoes fall quickly, and it feels like Chris Bay's positivity and the folks around him and how quickly everybody rallied. It's a beautiful thing, and let's all keep him in our prayers and just be thankful, because I have a ton of faith that Mr. Bay is going to live an incredible life still.
I am holding on to hope. In fact, I'm being positive that man is going to get back into the ring. I really, truly believe it. And maybe it's just what we know with medical science nowadays, any of that stuff, I don't know. But we are in a different world than we were just 20 years ago. And the idea of him wrestling again, maybe sooner than later, doesn't shock me as much anymore. And again, selfishly, I want that. Unselfishly, Chris Bay, live the best possible life that you can. And I really hope that you are able to just do all the things that you're supposed to be doing at this point. But with that said, Hound, there's tiny rumor, poquito rumor, that we are supposed to talk about professional wrestling on this program. I know I say it in the beginning that we're a pro wrestling podcast. I don't actually do anything other than watch pro wrestling and work. So I'm pretty sure we should talk about pro wrestling, because I don't know anything else that's going on in the world.
I'll allow it.
Other than that eggs cost $3 million.
I found some eggs by me that weren't so bad. It was only like $5 for 12. I was like, all right.
So someone told me to get duck eggs. That they're less expensive.
Yeah, and which is wild. I mean, truthfully, at this point, just buy one ostrich egg. It's the same. It's the same price as a dozen chicken eggs, and
it's 4 times the size of a dozen chicken eggs.
It really is. And if you're a giant nerd like me, you can feel like you're cracking like a Tyrannosaurus egg. You'd be like, haha, screw you, Jurassic Park.
All right, Hound. Not on the show, Doc. I'm getting this back on track here. Not on the show, Doc. There is some wrestling news that we haven't gotten to talk about in the last few weeks that I really want to get into. The first thing is Natty Neidhart is going to be doing cross-promotional work for both the NWA at the Crockett Cup and Game Changer Wrestling for Bloodsport. I think this is awesome. I think this completely goes with Showtime says it quite a bit, is a rising tide lifts all ships. I think that this is more of the WWE realizing that if the wrestling business is doing better as a whole, their business will be doing better as a whole.
Yeah, and you start to remove a lot of the tribalism, and we've had that for far too long. And we really have moved into a new age, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Paul Levesque for that. Gone are a lot of the old. Every once in a while we see a little like Vinceism rear its head, but it seems to get that nail seems to get knocked back down pretty quickly. And
I agree.
I'm excited about that.
I'm looking forward to seeing Natalya work for the NWA specifically. I think she is exactly what those 3 letters kind of embody. She is the tradition that goes along with the NWA.
Yes, and somehow this will be another Guinness World Record for her.
Somehow. She's going to come down and there's going to be 17 cats.
I love it.
I do love it. I'm just saying, I went to the one NWA pay-per-view at the end of last year, and they had a small person, a little person, a micro person. That's what they're calling them now. They're not midgets and they're not dwarfs. It's like micro wrestling. And they put them in a cage. Like, it was supposed to be like when you put a manager in a shark cage, but it wasn't a shark cage. It was like a dog crate.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think someone said it was legitimately like a bird cage. I couldn't help but bring it up. I'm like, this happened. Like, I'm not just saying it because I'm a bad person. I'm not saying I'm a great person. I'm just saying that things needed to be told. They put a little person in a bird cage. The only way that it could have been better was if they had him dress up like Tweety Bird and they put someone in like a Sylvester suit behind him.
I mean, we're missing there's a glorious pirate gimmick somewhere where we can have one of the micro wrestlers be the Polly on the shoulder.
Be the pirate or be the parrot.
Be the parrot, yes.
Be the parrot. It'd be amazing.
It would be. This is terrible.
We're starting off hot, guys. We are.
Nah, we're gonna have some fun tonight, man. This is
let me just talk about it again.
No forced applause at all.
None. That was live audience.
Perfect.
We're like a sitcom. Transition.
There you go. No laugh tracks here.
Live audience. Totally live audience.
Let's talk about some stuff, bro.
All right, stuff it is. All right, this one's a little bit more on the serious side. Jamie Hayter has been kept off of AEW. I'm sorry, off of AEW television due to visa issues. Hound, I want to talk. I did want to get your opinion because occasionally you show some signs of intelligence, and this has it's every so often. This might be one of those things where I pull a nugget of truth out of you.
All right.
This seems to be a thing with AEW that more than one of their wrestlers that's not an American citizen has problems with visas. This has been since the entire 5-year time span. Riho has consistently had problems with her visas. Like if you look at Rio's under contract, and if you look at the amount of money that she makes per match, technically, it's something like $70,000 per match because she only wrestles once every 4 months because they finally get her visa in order. And then a week later, it's messed up again.
Okay. We're going to have to go with the principle of Occam's razor here. Simplest answer is probably the most correct. AEW not only doesn't know how to book anything, they don't know how to do bookkeeping.
That's where I'm at with it is, and especially obviously it's not going to happen with someone like Ospreay who's so hot right now, but unfortunately Jamie, since coming back, has kind of cooled off a bit, and I think this is one of those. Oh, she cooled off, and unfortunately let it fall through the cracks because she's not as hot as before her injury.
Yeah, I mean. That's the thing. You and I have both worked for large corporations and stuff, and as well as I do, there's far too many people who, when you get onto the leadership side of things, think that their job is to tell somebody else something to do. And I think that's all that their job is to say, you do this, you do this, you do this, while doing nothing. And you tend to have that run all the way down the chain until somewhere somebody's still not doing it. And nobody knows because everybody can point the finger at somebody. So I would not be surprised if you've got some of that going on there. And plus, it seems like Tony Khan wants to be best friends with all of his employees as opposed to being the boss of his employees. Yeah, no, I mean it's frustrating to see. It's like, I mean, look, one of the hottest people on the planet not involved in these promotions, Jacob Fatu, had visa issues for legit reasons, and they've gotten that cleaned up.
I'm just saying he managed to make it to Canada. They had to ask for they had to ask for forgiveness and approval of it, but he was allowed.
Yeah, he was allowed.
And let's not just absolve him of this stuff because he hasn't absolved himself of it. He did those things.
He did, but you know what?
He served his time. He did his thing. And now he's he's still a scary man.
But he is a fine, upstanding member of society, and we will say nothing disparaging about Jacob Fatu. Amin, as he says.
I know. You know why? Because there's a real good chance that Jacob Fatu will end up in Florida somewhere, and I can't outrun that man.
Okay, I would give anything. I know it's not going to happen, but I would give anything for, honestly, a Brody King and Jacob Fatu match or a Takeshita Jacob Fatu match.
Yeah, I'm in for both of those.
It would be great.
Oh yeah, that man meat slapping.
Yeah, it'd be good. It would be good, man. But yeah, it's look, when it comes to the visa issues, truthfully, I think there's a broken culture in AEW. I think Tony Khan is doing a lot of what Vince did, where he has his favorite toys and he has them for a season. And you might be the new favorite toy, or at least one of the toys coming out of the toy box, for literally the time it took for him to pick up the toy and go, you know what, I actually don't want to play with this one. And when that's happening, there's a bit of a malaise that falls over things. And so people, if he's not forcing people to make sure that their stuff's in order and they're still getting paid, why are they going to keep it in order?
I mean, that again, like you said, that seems to be the MO there. Speaking of one of his former favorite toys, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about Ray Phoenix being released finally.
I'm happy for him.
So, Hound, I'm going to ask you, do you put him right into the tag team? Or is Penta so hot right now, still hot enough right now, where it doesn't make sense to have Ray come in and be his tag team partner? Is it close enough to him being like coming in and being like, well, he was hot, but like he hasn't cooled. It's just a matter of it's still new enough where if we put him in there with Penta.
So I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong putting the Lucha Brothers back together. But I would love if Ray Phoenix was the one training Luchador Gable. I would
Toto
love
Americano.
Yes, I would love it.
I would love that. That would be amazing. You really throw everything off. He doesn't come in with Pentagon, or he doesn't come in with Penta, or as Chad Gable's trainer. All of a sudden, they debut him as like the tag team partner of Aleister Black for no reason whatsoever.
I mean, listen,
and they have him face Fraxium.
It's perfect. No, I mean, look, I wouldn't. It's a very safe bet to put the Lucha Brothers back together, but also if you had Ray Phoenix come in and just tear up NXT for a little bit, that's okay too. I mean, I think he's bigger than NXT, but I
think so too. But I wouldn't be surprised if they send him to NXT just to kind of pull the reins on him a little bit. Phoenix was constantly the one kind of getting hurt during a lot of this stuff. And I think they might need to be like, hey, you don't always have to do all the stuff.
Yeah. Ray Phoenix and Will Ospreay need to stop attempting to die every time they're in the ring. I appreciate the zeal, gentlemen, but at some point, we'd like you to have another match. I'd like you to be able to walk in the back and be like, I feel okay.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, this is a 2 Advil night. This is wonderful. I'm going to go watch The Big Bang Theory in my hotel room with my 2 Advil and have a croissant. And it'll be wonderful.
Yes. Croissant.
And it'll be wonderful. But no, Will Ospreay tries to get actually shanked to death, and Ray Phoenix tries to land on his head. So, I mean, let's pull the reins back a little bit, boys.
I'm just saying, just a little bit. Like, we don't need to do every move we know on every single match.
I kind of do want to see unhinged Kevin Owens, though, have to tear it up with the Lucha Brothers.
Yes. What if it becomes unhinged Kevin Owens and unhinged Sami Zayn versus the Lucha Bros?
Well, they're not going to get them back together just yet.
Not just yet, but you know at some point they're going to be tag team. They're going to be a tag team again.
Oh, 100%.
For like 5 months, and then they're going to fight again.
Yeah, I mean, it's as any brother should.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that was open ended for either one of those tag teams.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Hound. Let's get into some of the weekly wrestling programming. The first one that we're gonna go with, this is NXT, and this was their Roadblock event from the theater at Madison Square Garden. Let me first off by saying I've never seen. I think I've seen some boxing stuff from the theater at Madison Square Garden, but NXT there looked awesome. I love the places that NXT is going for some of their events.
They have found a niche. Like, they found a missing piece to the puzzle that we didn't know they were missing. And that's the beautiful thing about it is, they were fine with what they were doing, because you can pull little camera tricks to, even though you're we'll just throw a number out there. Let's say you can fit 10,000, but you're only putting 3,000 in there. Well, there's camera tricks where you don't realize there's 7,000 empty seats, like, and everything else. But no, when you pick these places like the ECW arena, like the theater at Madison Square Garden.
What was it? The factory, wasn't it? That was the one in St. Louis that I really liked. I really liked that one, but I like this one too. Like, some of these ones, they're so different looking.
Yeah, it's like a high end. It gives it a high end indie feel while being professional. Like, it doesn't feel. Sometimes going to like a Raw and a SmackDown, like, it almost feels unapproachable. You know what I mean? It's like, or going to a pay-per-view, and we've gone to WrestleMania together. You've been to far more pay-per-views and PLEs than I've been to, and you know what I mean? Like, things like that, those big giant shows, sometimes they feel a bit unapproachable. And these don't. These feel like a word of mouth. Hey, did you hear this is coming through? And you get 3 of your buddies together and you're like, hey, let's go check this out. Like, it's got that kind of grassrootsy feel. That's what it is.
It definitely has that. And then what's more is then you get there and this brand has been delivering. Anyone who's telling you that NXT isn't firing on at least almost all the cylinders is lying right now. Like, again, it's stupid wrestling tribalism that we just talked about. NXT is firing right now, and the one thing they're doing better than everyone else, and they know it, is that women's division.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this show closed out with the women. They could have closed out with Obafemi and Moose. They didn't. They closed out with their 2 women's champions going belt for belt, which is obviously arguably the bigger match because it's title for title. But 10, 15 years ago, that might not have closed out a show.
It definitely wouldn't have closed out a show 10 to 15 years ago. But yeah, the
NXT it might have still.
Maybe. But even NXT's weekly episodic stuff, it's not uncommon if they've got 4 matches for 3 of them to be in the women's division. It's kudos to those young ladies. Like, it's a beautiful thing to see.
I'm really happy with what they did here. So they opened up the show. It was the Hardys versus Fraxium for the TNA tag team titles. This was good. This was very good. And seeing the Hardys back in Madison Square Garden in any way, shape, or form it kind of feels like home.
No, I don't, and I agree with you. And I don't remember if we talked about it on our last episode when we were talking about like the dynamic of this match, or if it was just something you and I talked about on the phone. I think it was in our last time we recorded together. I said that this was going to be something where the Hardys kind of pulled Fraxium back a little bit, and they did exactly that. The match was exactly how you thought it was going to be. It had enough drama in it for you to believe that the TNA titles were going to change hands. The Hardys hit the notes that make them the Hardys and give everybody the nostalgia things. And I want to give, the Hardys are professionals. They've been doing this for 4 decades, basically, at this point. At least 3. So they've hit their 10,000 hours of mastery. It's more uncommon for them not to put on, or for them to put on a bad match than it is to not, or it's way more common for the match to be good, and the bad matches are outliers based on the amount of time that they've done this. But when you get in there with young talent like that who are so damn athletic and are, everything you used to be, sure, it can be daunting. But, and kudos to Fraxium for letting the Hardys take the lead as they should there. You can tell that the Hardys dictated the pace of that match. They told a great story, and yeah, we've said, could there be a time when, and it'll come when a rep from a TNA person will hold an NXT title, or an NXT person will hold the TNA title, and the Hardys aren't the worst idea to be the first to do
it. They're definitely not, and it would be cool. I think, kind of like you said, the Hardys definitely pulled Fraxium back just enough where this was exactly what it should be. I'll go even a step further. When we say the Hardys pulled them back, Matt pulled them back. There is no point in this match that, obviously, it had a producer, it had an agent, but what agent on the roster is going to tell the Hardy Boys what to do? Realistically, if they don't want to, they don't have to. They are legends.
Yeah, an agent who wants to get fired that night.
Yeah, he's just there. Oh, that's what you want to do? Cool. Okay. Matt was the general of this match. There's no doubt in my mind. Matt Hardy was the general of this match. Jeff listens to what Matt says. Hey, this is when I'm going to go up to the top rope. And I would not doubt that Fraxium took their cues from Matt and just said, okay, tell us what we'll give you some of our stuff, and you tell us when to sprinkle it in.
100%. And we talk about it showed the level of professionalism that Fraxium has there, but it also showed the respect that they have for the business and for the ones who paved the way for people like Fraxium. So for me, it's a big hand to both teams. I thought the match was right. I thought the finish was right. And at any point, even though Fraxium is the NXT champions and they did get pinned clean, getting your shoulders pinned for a 1-2-3 by the Hardys at no point lessens your stock.
And especially not at Madison Square Garden.
Exactly.
We can call it the theater all we want. It's Madison Square Garden.
It is still MSG.
And did you actually see there's a thing there was a social media thing with Bubba Ray Dudley going up to Fraxium afterwards because they were just so distraught because there was a misstep, and Axiom accidentally kicks Frazier, and that's how the Hardys get it.
Mm-hmm.
And they go and they're back there, they're about to it seems like they're almost about to implode, or maybe not implode, but just you can see they're just not with it. And Bubba comes in, and the first thing he does is tap him on the shoulder and go, "What's that?" and then he goes, "Come on!" I'm just with the most New York accent that he can ever find. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. Let me talk to you on the old Twitter machine.
I'm gonna send you a message over the intranets.
You know his cousin owns a deli.
Man, waste management. Don't worry about nothing.
Don't worry about nothing. But but he's like, listen. What he actually told him was, listen, losing to the Hardys, there's no disrespect in that. He goes, when I was the tag team champions with Devon, we lost in a tables match in Madison Square Garden to the Hardys. He goes, it happens. Everybody loses.
Yep.
And it was cool to see that little interaction. Not to mention Bubba just being, again, another one of those guys doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
What's that?
Being flagrantly from New York.
Hound, let's get into the next match. This I feel like is all you on this one. This is a match they made this match for you, and that's Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez.
They did, man. Look, Roxanne is uh, Roxanne is top 3 women in the world, and she is definitely not number 3. Like she's unbelievable.
She's so good.
Jordan Grace is a star.
She's so different. She's so different. Like, even compared to other powerhouses, she's different because she's not Bianca and she's not Rhea. She just, everything about her is different. She's not China.
Yeah, so she's got the build like China, but she's not tall. So when she is picking up like a Piper Niven, and that it does look extra impressive, but we know it's also a whole lot easier for her because she's moving her 4 inches. Because Jordan Grace is another one who's only like 4'3". She's teeny tiny.
She's the same height as her husband.
Yes,
who's also 4'3".
4'3". But no, listen, Miss Grace, you are one of the very best performers on the planet. That match delivered exactly as it should have. You know, the one time that those two hooked it up before, they had an incredible match. And it was the first time where I was like, wait a minute, somebody from TNA is taking the NXT title. Like, I was like, in my head, I was like, Jordan Grace is walking out with 2 titles.
I really thought she was.
And you can tell that Roxanne is doing her goodbye tour for NXT right now. So it's to me, it was pretty obvious who was going to win. I also knew it was going to be one of the best women's matches we'd seen in a long time, and it definitely was.
So, Hound Dog, I'm going to ask you this. I mean, this is obviously her goodbye tour for NXT. Do you switch her? She's been so good as a heel. She's been so good as a heel. But because she was so good as a heel, and before that she was the plucky young babyface. Now she can be that, I don't want to say edgy babyface because I really hate that terminology, but she can go in there and be a babyface that's not just happy to be there. I've been here. And I think the loss to Jordan is almost a nice way to turn her, leading into something with Cora before she goes fully up to the main roster. And there's a whole lot, I feel like there's a whole lot more for her to do as a babyface right now on the main roster than as a heel.
Well, I don't think you really even need to define her as face or heel because she's easy to cheer for because she's adorable. Like, and it's, and it's not just because of that, because you can get behind her because another one, she's teeny tiny.
And she can wrestle.
But yeah, she's that little chihuahua that actually can go fight with the big dogs. And she's incredible. She can make the crowd, she can get the good sympathy babyface heat real quick, if like Jade Cargill just decides to launch her into the air. And she can also get this bitch right here, like heel heat. And
this bitch.
Yeah. She can pull both, and it's a great thing. I don't think you really need to define her. I think we kind of let the fans define her right now.
I can see that. But here's the thing. Do you think that maybe is where they go with it though, where maybe the fans do switch a little bit, especially if they end this off with her and Cora kind of closing this out, because Cora's a heel. She's a full heel.
Cora is a heel, and that's the thing is you don't make Roxanne a face if they do the whole thing where Cora beats her down after a segment and leads into like what will be Roxanne's goodbye match where we get the thank you Roxanne chant and all that other stuff. You can still have her very much walk the line there, and she can flow between both. She can be a de facto face because of the move by Corey Jade there, but I don't believe that makes her a face. So I think it's really going to come down to who she's in a program with. Like, because right now, if she's in a program with Bayley, she's the heel. But if she was in a program with Rhea, I'm sorry, not Rhea. If she was in a program with like Charlotte, well, she's the face. So it's I
or
think
like
she
Chelsea. I
yeah.
could definitely see her going almost full baby face with Chelsea.
Yes. And that would be wonderful, but I think they would actually take the US title off Chelsea and put it on Roxanne if they did that. So I'm not ready for that yet.
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. Maybe
It's
eventually.
coming. It's coming, but not yet. I
I
need Chelsea Green to hold on to that for a while.
I wouldn't mind seeing something like that at like SummerSlam though.
Yeah, no, that would be a good time. I'm just not ready yet.
Just not yet. All right. So Jordan Grace. So now they're 1-1 each. I also wouldn't be mad if Roxanne's closeout is a rubber match with Jordan.
They could do that. I mean, I think it's foolish. Like Cora has improved quite a bit, and I think right now let's see if she's going to rise to that next level because she can get there, and I'd like to see if that happens. And I think if you don't do this with Roxanne and her, you're essentially saying either we're not ready to take the chance on pushing her towards that level, or we don't have the faith that she can we don't have the faith that she won't be dwarfed by the moment.
That's fair. All right. Let's look at the NXT heavyweight title match. Obafemi, our champion, M'Baku, if you will, versus Moose, the TNA X Division champion. And this was two large athletic men doing large athletic men things, with Oba coming out on top at the end.
Yeah, we knew that Oba was going to be keeping that. And I like that before he went to the ring, Oba kind of got the stamp of approval from Taker, where he was like, "I'm
I did
impressed
like
with you,
that.
and go defend this yard."
I did like that.
So I like that because I was not high on Obafemi for a while. I was kind of over it, and we talked about it a few times where it's like, yeah, you're a monster in the ring, and da da da, but something was missing, and I believe that's when I started saying like, well, let's see where the evolution is. Let's see where the growth is. Instead of us really harping on this, because if this is supposed to be developmental, well, let's see if it develops. And they handed over the ball and he's running. And it's a good thing to see. Like it's one of those where we could be looking at a long NXT title run for NXT title run standards right now.
I could absolutely see that. And I thought this was a good match. I thought this was everything. The one thing I will say about Taker is I like that Taker is himself. He is not. He is holding true to like that. The dead man is retired.
Yeah.
When he comes back now, he comes back as the American Badass because that's really just him being Mark Calloway.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Taker was the last bastion of protecting kayfabe, and he did it, man. Like he, aside from being, in my opinion, the greatest big man to ever do it, and arguably the greatest. I don't even think it's arguable. I think he is the greatest character of all time.
He's definitely the greatest character of all time.
And we talk about our Mount Rushmores, and of course, we default to like Flair, Hogan, the folks like that, and they really are other level. And now you do have to put The Rock on there. You got to put Stone Cold up there. We're heading to a point where you might have to put Roman Reigns up there. And but for me, Taker's on that list too.
I could see that. I like that. I do like though that for so many years he was so quiet, and now he's just like, I just kind of want to talk to people. Let's do my let's do my 6 feet under podcast, and we're gonna talk some stories. We're gonna talk about how I drank a lot of Jack Daniels, played some dominoes, and maybe some people I know got into some trouble. Maybe.
It's great seeing this because who knew that Mark Calloway was a chatterbox?
Listen, and one of the newest episodes they had, they put him in there with like the chatterbox of chatterboxes. It was literally him, Jake the Snake Roberts and DDP.
Perfect.
So good. And they talk about Jake losing the snake in DDP's house.
Oh, when he lost the Cobra in DDP's house.
Yeah, well, I never realized. I thought it was when he was walking around with like the little Cobra at this point. Because remember, he had that little one. No, he lost a 12-foot Cobra in DDP's bathroom. And he
they don't like, hiss. They like
yeah. And Taker's response is great for it. 12 feet. Like 2 feet higher than a regulation basketball rim. That was how he equated it. I'm like, this is great because you can tell that's where his shock level is. Like, this is at the top of the backboard now, if it's straight out.
And I don't think that the snake was devenomed either. I think it was like,
I think Jake was not exactly of his sound mind and body at that point, and I think he said, I think it was devenomized. I
don't trust it.
And he goes, I'll be back in the morning. DDP is like, I didn't see Jake for 3 days.
Oh my gosh. And Legion, I'm not going to go into the story, but I can't remember where they told it. It might have been on an episode of Rogan where they talked about how Macho Man was freaked out about having to take the snake bite. And he went to Jake and he's like, oh, listen, so I know you're gonna let that snake bite you because I think they're coming to get me. He had to prove he had to take a bite from the snake. He had to take a bite from the snake in the back, and the way it actually was Jake telling the story on Rogan.
Yeah,
Legion, do yourself a favor, go listen to it. It's Jake the Snake is such a great storyteller. It's so good.
Oh man. All right. So Owafemi retains. We get a street fight between Ethan Page and Javon Evans. Javon gets his retribution in this match, and at the end, he is attacked by these mystery 4 guys. Except for one of them's not a mystery because it's Dion Lennox, because his mask keeps falling off, and I think he actually tweeted something at one point about them, like we're coming. Because I think his mask fell off during an event, and they were like, and everyone was just like, well, we know that it's Dion Lennox.
So, can I say I didn't care about their street fight? Like I was ready for the whole thing to be over. I think Javon Evans being jumped by Dion Lennox and his cronies
and the Kings and Nines.
Yeah, whatever they're called. The aces and eights, yeah, the kings and nines. That's
Kings and Nines.
That's what
like that there. One.
I did. It was well played. Yeah.
So what was the one that Mustafa Ali led? Was that Retribution?
Yeah, this is I don't know. This is Temu Retribution.
Yeah, this is payback.
Yes, I don't know. Let's see what happens with it. I will give it the benefit of the doubt until I no longer give it the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, Javon Evans is a good target for them to beat down because, like I keep saying, I think Javon Evans can get that homegrown. The entire crowd is like in tears when he eventually wins the world title the way Sami Zayn did it, and it'll be a great thing. But I was ready for their feud to be done.
I mean, he's still avenging Uncle Cedric.
This is true.
Even though he's not even with the company anymore.
This is true. Well, listen, that is a true friend.
That's a true friend. All right, let's move on to this main event then. The main event of the night. Champion versus champion. Julia, the NXT Women's Champion, versus Stephanie Vaquer, the NXT Women's North American Champion. And I almost thought that I thought going into this, maybe there was going to be something where we didn't get 2 champions, or we didn't get 1 women holding 2 belts. And I was wrong.
So I like what when we talked briefly before we started recording, I kind of agree with you. I didn't see a world to take the title off Julia unless Julia needs the title off her right now. So, and the rumor with her being a little bit dinged up and maybe needing a little bit of time, that's fine. Listen, the match itself with those two women, you're never going to miss. Stephanie Vicker, if you can hear me, that whole little thing you do where you wrap your legs around the back of their head and slam their head into the mat, cool. 3 to 5 is an acceptable number, but 78, I understand that this is hyperbole because it was really only 77, but I thought my TV glitched and somehow I was stuck in a loop and then it stopped and I was like, oh, she really did that for that long.
You don't need to do it an entire segment until we go to commercial.
Yeah. Like it was like an obnoxiously long Cesaro big swing.
Obnoxiously long.
Yeah, but you know what? Kudos to that. Like the only thing is I can't stand Steph's finishing move. That's it. Other than that,
I'd like her to start doing something different. It
doesn't look devastating.
It doesn't flow. Yeah, it doesn't look devastating. It doesn't flow right. I don't know. Maybe something off the top rope I think would be better.
Something, I mean, or if you're going to be doing something with something into kind of a backbreaker there, I mean, even if you want to do the butterfly thing, just do the butterfly and do a sit-out powerbomb. Or, a butterfly into you drop to your knees with a powerbomb, something like that. But the whole you're not getting enough height and enough torque and anything else for me to believe that move. Yeah, and where that move isn't just like, oh, stop, that's annoying. But I mean, look, I was sad to see the belt get off Julia. I am definitely high on Julia, but it's in good hands in my opinion. And let's see if the rumors are to be believed that Julia's a little bit banged up. Maybe we're going to get a different version of Julia coming back. I wouldn't mind seeing Julia not be super happy Julia and come back and be mega serious and really start Arrivederci kneeing people in the head. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, do it. Although if she's not super happy, Julia, she's going to not have the blue hair that I really dug in this match. I like the blue hair this time.
She can still be unhappy with blue hair.
Maybe that's why it's blue, because she's blue.
Yes. She was blue, dabba dee baba die. Abba-dee abba die.
Yes. I wasn't going to go there because I was hoping you were.
Well, listen, I almost went a completely different route and thought better of it. And went,
not this time. Next time.
Off air, I'll tell you. On air, I'm a good human.
Yeah, that's what we're going with. All right. So that was Roadblock. Honestly, I thought it was a really good event for not being a PLE or pay-per-view or whatever we're calling them this week. I thought they went to Madison Square Garden. I thought both nights that WWE was in Madison Square Garden, they tore the house down. So
yeah, they did great.
Let's move on. This is the first the first AEW Dynamite post Revolution. Not a French Revolution, just a normal AEW Revolution. One time around.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens up with a Kenny Omega promo saying that he wants a challenger now that he thanks to Kashta for the match. He wants a challenger. They're going to hold another tournament to find out who is going to face Omega for the AEW International title. I think this is another one like they did with Orange Cassidy last time, where it's kind of a mini tourney. Like it's just going to be like 2 matches and then.
Yeah, I mean they're just determining who it's going to be. Whoever Kenny Omega is going to beat. The okay, promo was what the promo was. There's bits and beats to it that I'm digging. I'm hoping that this is what's going to happen because you can tell that right now it's giving the I'm just happy to be here, which 100% Kenny's just happy to be there. He's in incredible shape again. He's healthy again. He overcame quite a debilitating disease, but he's also, it could be the start of the retirement talks and all the da da da, and like this is, I'm just happy to be here, and it's been a great ride. So maybe we are looking at where Kenny's like, okay, and he's starting to prep the crowd that, let's say 2 years from now, like, I'm going to be done. Or maybe we're getting a thing where Kenny's going to have a whole bunch of sympathy and then he becomes heel Kenny again. And you could do something there with that. But I'm going to trust the process. I'm happy to see Omega back. I've always been a fan of Omega, have been less of a fan of his American stuff versus Japanese. But let's see what happens, because he seems healthy and happy again. And when he's healthy and happy, he's one of the very best on the planet.
I agree with that. And I am looking forward to them, eventually getting him the Intercontinental title.
Yes. I mean, I will be very sad when Comedy Okada when he loses one half of the Intercontinental title.
What happened? All right. So, hey, Hound, we got 2 matches on here that we can just glaze over pretty much. And that's Ops versus the Premier Athletes, because, listen, we can say that they're not the Premier Athletes or jobbers at this point.
And
it's upsetting that they are, because they are that good, but like...
And I don't care about the Ops.
I don't care about the Ops. They have established Samoa Joe as someone I no longer care about.
Yeah, it's and that's upsetting, because Legion, if you've only come to know Samoa Joe in the last little bit, I ask you, I implore you, go back to the 6-sided ring NXT days and go watch Samoa Joe. Do a deep dive and watch Samoa Joe and Low-Ki hit each other
hard.
Yeah, like watch Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki. When Minoru Suzuki decided to chop Samoa Joe, and then Samoa Joe decided to kick Minoru Suzuki. And then they did that for about 7.5 hours. It was like 2 minutes, but still. It was, like go back and watch some of this stuff, and watch when it made no sense that a gentleman that size moved the way he did.
Go back and watch the 3-way match with Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels.
That was the match you introduced me to him on.
It is touted by many as, at least during that era, the best TNA match of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it is the match. It is, by TNA standards, it's their Austin Bret Hart.
Yeah, it's their blood from a stone moment, 100%. But yeah, Legion, if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, go back, treat yourself. I promise you,
you'll be happy that you did.
And I promise you, you've done at least one good thing in the last few weeks. Treat yourself.
I'll agree with that. You know what? My name's Steve Zapf, and I approve this message.
See, getting ready for that 2028 push. With you, homie.
Dogs not war. The next match is the other one that we can glaze over, because I honestly do not care about anyone in this match anymore. And that's Powerhouse Hobbs and Hologram versus Brian Cage and Drolistico. First of all, why were any of these teams put together? I'm sorry. There is someone in this match that I care about. Harley Graham.
That's true.
Harley Cameron dressed as Hologram.
Yeah.
Is just more proof of how over she is right now.
Harley Graham is incredible. But yeah, I mean, you're right, dude. It's like, it's hard. And that's the thing is, you've got 4 really, really talented guys, but you got nothing for them to do.
Nothing. And we just had 2 matches with 2 guys that I think normally the world of. Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yep.
And I don't care what they're doing right now. I don't. And I don't know anyone else does. And Legion, if I'm wrong, let me know. Like, if you know for a fact that, hey, no, like we're really into the Ops, or we're really into whatever they're doing with Powerhouse Hobbs right now, comment. Let us know. I want to know. I want to hear why you guys like whatever it is they're doing with these guys, because it feels like they're doing nothing. a whole lot of nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, we definitely want to hear opinions, and this is not a. It's not let us hear your opinions. So that way we can argue against you. Be like, well, you're stupid because you think that, you dumb face, like, you stupid head. No, I love hearing opposing opinions, because you never know if you say the thing and you have the perspective to make somebody go, oh, wait a minute,
I
I
didn't
see
look at it
that.
that way.
And that's
Now I have to turn my head upside down and just look at it from that angle. And okay, no, I get it, man. It's crazy. Sometimes
yeah.
that happens, man. Like you got to take the step back.
Sometimes you have to look at it upside down face.
Totally upside down face. For those just listening to us, I'm putting my face upside down.
And for those that don't know, that is a Family Guy reference that is and was huge in our circle of friends for a long time.
Turn my world totally upside down face. All right. We get a Timeless Tony Storm promo. I thought this was gold, everything Tony's doing. And then she gets attacked by Megan Bayne afterwards. Hound, do you think this is maybe a little bit too soon with the Megan Bayne stuff?
It is. I think there's also not a world where Megan Bayne is actually. I don't think anybody's a threat to that title right now. So if you're really trying to do anything with Megan Bayne, I think her being the first is silly, because unless we get hit with a swerve that we're not ready for. But I just don't see a world where at least the next few challengers aren't defeated by Timeless Tony Storm.
Almost just being cannon fodder at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, the only way this works is if you're saying, okay, if you're anointing Megan Bayne to be the one that, like, we had talked about it, and we're both hoping for a lengthy title run. We're hoping for a minimum of a year. Like, let's really get something we can sink our teeth into. And if you're anointing Megan Bayne to be the one by losing it first and going through, while this is going on, going through a redemption arc, if you will, then I could be interested. So let's see what happens. But I worry that far ahead has not been thought of.
It's a pretty safe bet that it's not.
Exactly.
All right. Especially how the rest of the show progresses with Megan Bayne. So the next match is your boy, Frank the Bitch. That would be the Beast Mortos in one of these Dynasty tournament matches versus the debuting Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, I'm a huge Mike Bailey fan. I think Speedball Bailey is awesome. Truly, truly amazing. If you have not seen his work in TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call it, go back and watch it. His match with Moose was like my match of like the month for a while, and it is so very good. They do everything right, and Bailey and Mortos have worked each other in TNA when I forget what Mortos' name was over there. It was something weird. The Black Mortos or something like that. It was something weird like that. It was weird. El Negro Mortos. El Morto. It was something. It was not that, but it was something where like they played on the bull thing more, a bit more. And Bailey comes away with this. Kind of saw that one coming.
Well, listen, I am going to immediately say this right now in defense of Frank the Bitch, because first of all, Mr. the Beast Mortos, if you will, you were anointed by one Comedy Okada with a glorious nickname that respect needs to be put on. So Frank the Bitch, he needs to be shown some respect. And if anything, he should take the title from Moxley. I'm starting an underground groundswell that will reach no further than me for this right now.
You know what? I'll sign the petition. That's two. I mean, it's two. Literally. If we get your kid in, maybe 3.
Oh, she won't care. She's like, "You're cringe, Dad," and I'll be like, "What's that mean?"
I don't know what that means.
It's like, I am in my I'm almost in my mid-40s, but I'm almost there. You're 16. We have nothing in common other than a last name.
Oh man. I'm a little excited to see where this little dynasty tournament is. It's also a little weird that we have now, because AEW has their actual event Dynasty, which is what we're building towards. But then their group conglomeration, the event with New Japan was Wrestle Dynasty.
Well, I mean, it's as original as an Intercontinental title.
It is. Oh man, it's too much. Too much. All right. Let's get into something very good. MVP offers MJF his card. Let's talk about this.
So, yes, let's. So, remember how I was saying, I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with MJF, and do I have to rethink my thinking on him as it means something to beat him? What if we're going to keep Lashley and Benjamin dominating with tag straps? What if this is somehow going to be where MJF is the world champion again, attached to the Hurt Syndicate? I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I know I'm intrigued.
I'm very intrigued. I'm even more so because this is a situation where with MVP, if MVP is there, I mean, MJF doesn't need a mouthpiece. But at the same time, honestly, MVP and MJF, I liken this to CM Punk and Heyman, or Roman and Heyman even. Like, you don't need the mouthpiece, but this is a real interesting wrinkle to now be able to play off of, because you know MVP is going to bring A game every single time.
1,000,000,000%. And let's see here. So because this could go sideways in a bad way quick if egos get in the way. But the idea, though, if you're letting MJF and MVP flow off of each other, and then it becomes where MJF is going to be in a war of words with like a Hangman Page, and now suddenly you've got MVP chiming in, I'm actually kind of looking forward to those verbal beatdowns on people before, Lashley and Shelton kill people, and then MJF hits them with the Heat Seeker.
I'm just saying, if you have MVP and MJF on the same side, who wins a war of words against those two?
Ricochet, the greatest promo of all time.
Clearly. Wheeler Yuta.
Yes.
John Moxley. Death Jitsu.
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta will tech support the hell out of them. It'll be great.
The new devastating tag team of Ricochet and Wheeler Yuta. Hailing from their cubicle. With the finisher, give me back my stapler.
Give me back my stapler. Oh my gosh. No, we would just call their tag team the Personality.
You see him coming down with, like, they're not the real Dudley glasses. Like, they don't have tape in the middle where the nose is. It's just like the tape on the arm.
I just wanted
short sleeve button downs.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, Wheeler Yuta forever will be that kid from the Goonies with me with the pinchers of Pow. Like, it is what it is. Like,
it's I
just don't take him seriously. I just can't. He's the only thing he has ever killed is a computer virus, and that was with the help of Norton Antivirus. He didn't even do it himself. He hit Control-Alt-Delete and thought he did something.
It's not true. I know how he did it. It's called Slayer.
He did call George. Those are cows, George.
Whoa. But yet, doesn't know what cows are, but yet, by the way, this is very inside stuff, guys. There's a wrestler out of New Jersey named Slayer, whose real name is George, obviously, much like Frank the Beast. But George didn't know what cows were during a trip. But if you told him what noises your computer were making over the phone, he could tell you what button combination to type in to fix it right then and there. He also liked to eat dog biscuits.
He did. Him and Father Osborne.
Oh, Father Osborne. All right. Let's get into something I was actually very excited to see, as far as the match goes, at least. But this also ties in with how are you going to have the Megan Bain stuff with Tony Storm when you're doing stuff down here too? Again, this is the MO for AEW. This happened and then this happened, as opposed to this happened, therefore this happened.
Yes. There's no cohesiveness and no continuity.
So this was Penelope Ford, who I have been super high on, versus your former interest, Miss Willow Nightingale.
Listen, she was never my interest. She was just my crush. But
Hound had a kindergarten crush on Willow Nightingale.
I very much did. She is adorable. Yeah,
I've got legs.
Yes, very much. But the good Lord has saw fit to bring a wonderful woman into my life. I'm very blessed. But yes, it doesn't change the fact that Willow Nightingale is adorable, and she is a phenomenal worker.
Phenomenal worker. Honestly, like I said, I've been high on Penelope Ford since she made her return. I think she does really, really good work. Willow has been doing good work for the last, I don't know, what, year and a half at this point?
Yeah.
And these two in the ring together did really good stuff. Now then, Willow winning, it doesn't surprise me. Unfortunately, Penelope Ford doesn't really win that often, and I think she should be winning more. I think they should be doing more with her. The other side of this is, at the end of the match, Ford attacks Willow. Chris Statlander makes a save. Willow is not sure if she wants to be friends with her again, and then Megan Bain comes out and helps Penelope Ford to level both of them. Here's the thing, there's a lot to unwrap with this. One, Willow and Statlander getting back, like, making up is huge, and I think it needs to be on a bigger stage, almost a bigger match than this. I think I would almost rather they had a match, and at the end of it realize, like, hey, this is dumb. We punched it out of our systems, and now we're okay with each other.
I agree with you, but I also have to say this, and I have to be pretty blunt. I kind of don't care. Like, I'm not invested.
That's the other side is I don't care. I don't care enough about this, and I think I'm trying to care about this because I do like all the people involved in this. 100%. The other side of this, the other side of that I'm going with is they've yet to explain the Penelope Ford Megan Bain connection, other than, you know what, I'm going to be well behaved this time. Other than their connection to Joey Janela, I will not use the terminology I was going to use. I'm growing up. See this? There's some gray in my beard now. I'm a wiser, older man. I will not get us canceled today.
Good. Listen, you don't need to. You're doing fine. I'm proud.
They might have association with the Inuits from Alaska.
Stop.
That's all I'm going to say about it. But there's been no clarity as to why they're helping each other.
See, here's the thing. It's if AEW had fostered us having faith that them doing something like this would lead to something we could like really grab hold of, I would be intrigued. But the fact of the matter is AEW, when it seems like when they have a decent enough storyline, they rush it. And when they have a really bad storyline, John Moxley, it sticks around forever.
They hold on to it. They crushed the sale like Tommy Boy.
Yes. We'll see, man. There is a lot to unpack there, and we're gonna have to see where they're gonna go with this. And I hate that I'm not interested, but I'm not interested in it.
So, and they go right from there into Will Ospreay officially announces his entry into the Owen Hart tournament. I feel like you kind of got to assume that Ospreay's he's got to be the odds-on favorite for this, right? Like, especially, here's the only thing is if Ospreay does win the tournament, I think Moxley holds the belt until All In June or July or whatever.
July 12th. And yeah, if they're going to be doing that with Ospreay, and then the worst part is I see Ospreay not beating Moxley for the belt either.
I don't know who you have to do it at this point.
It should be Swerve.
It should be Swerve. It could be Ospreay. I would buy Ospreay even. He's your biggest babyface in your company. Even more so than Omega. I'm not saying he's necessarily a bigger star. He's a bigger babyface than Omega is right now.
He is, and I'll tell you this, Kenny Omega does not need to be near the world title again in his career.
No. He's perfect where he's at right now.
Exactly. And because if he is saying, I've got 18 months, 2 years left, whatever, I haven't read anything or heard him say anything. It's just me speculating. Cool. He can have a medium length international title run, drop it to somebody, and then spend some time, checking off his bucket list of things that he wants to get done. If he wants to do that. If they're going to have him turn heel in some spectacular way that is not Don Callis adjacent, then we can talk about him being near the world title. Because I don't need Kenny Omega going back to really poor promos and Don Callis's head just slightly being off.
And the whole time they'll be talking to my favorite person, Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone.
All right. And finally, we get the main event. Another match in this Dynasty tournament. This is Orange Cassidy versus Hechicero. Means the sorcerer.
Says you.
Listen, they just came off of an 85% hot pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And this is what they delivered as their main event coming off of it.
Okay.
Explain it to me. Make it make sense.
I've been trying I've been good about not being angry. You want to know why? Because for some reason they're trying to make Collision more relevant than Dynamite. It seems like they're pushing the storylines that they want people to grab hold of over to there, which is extra dumb because nobody cares about Dynamite and even less nobody cares about Collision.
It's the problem is Collision is on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even always on Saturday. Because if they do a Saturday pay-per-view, they put it on Friday or whatever. Or just take it off completely. You're not building anything. Dynamite is your A show. Stop trying to make your B show your A show. So SmackDown knows where SmackDown is. Do they do great things sometimes? Yes. But SmackDown is not the flagship show. Raw is.
Tony Khan, if you can hear this, consider hiring me as your operations lead and let me let me take a look at everything and fire 97% of your staff because they're useless. We can, with what you have to work with, we need 2 sticky notes and 3 pens and per week. And Steve and I will write you a show with storytelling, and you might actually get some people invested.
Look, I'll show you. I have a special pen just for it. Special pen.
See, I have a special pen too. It was a series of them that was gifted to me by my mother, and one says F this, one says F that, one says F you, and one says F off.
Perfect. It'll work perfectly for AEW. By the way, folks, if you haven't figured it out, Orange Cassidy won this.
It's again, I don't care.
I don't care.
Okay, and cool. And then Mike Bailey comes out and bows to Orange Cassidy. Cool, man. Like, and that's the thing. Mike Bailey is incredible. Okay, cool. I mean, if he wins the thing and it's him and Omega, they'll have a cool Mike Bailey Omega match.
They'll have a good match.
Yeah.
But Omega's going to win.
Yep.
So what, like, we're not suspending disbelief, and we're not, there's no treachery afoot. Omega's not going heel anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
It's meh. This was a meh Dynamite.
Yeah.
But that was the extent of Dynamite, and it's kind of like going from what you should be doing with NXT the night before to, hey, we used all our guys on the pay-per-view, and they're all really dinged up and hurt, so we can't really have them wrestle 3 days later. That's kind of what this felt like.
Yes, and eventually I would like AEW to realize they don't need to put 12 matches on. I would like Will Ospreay to realize that he does not need to get stabbed and he does not need to die. I would like Tony Storm to not recreate Kickboxer again. And I would like Jon Moxley to lose the title.
Knock Sue Cow. Knock Sue Cow. Knock Sue Cow. For those who don't know, that's Kickboxer.
Oh my gosh.
The Wide Warrior. Which when it's Jean-Claude Van Damme saying it sounds like the Wide Warrior.
You know what ruined every one of those movies for me? The movie Balls of Fury. Because anytime anybody's talking about, like Van Damme and that, all I hear is Guaylo. Because of Balls of Fury, the greatest movie of all time. It's not the greatest movie of all time. But it's wonderful. Does it mean I got no honor? It means you got no backhand.
Well, and we're back to this, guys. All right, folks, Legion, as always, thank you for being with us. If you like what you've been watching, if you like what you've been listening to, remember, hit the subscribe, hit the follow, like us, comment, talk to us. We love hearing from you guys. I guarantee you, one of us will reach out to answer back on any commentary that we have. We'd love to start filling up a mailbag and doing some mailbag questions and stuff like that. So if that's something you'd be interested in helping us out with, we'd love to hear from you. Hound, happy to have you back. Happy to be back on a weekly scheduling process. Showtime is, as we said, still out of the country. I'm going to try to get some other content out to make up until he gets back. And then once he is back and we are back on a normal schedule, we are starting to set up some stuff for our 1-year anniversary show. We might do it just before Mania, honestly. And we're going to try to figure out some topics for that. But with that said, Hound Dog, you want to wish the people some farewells?
Absolutely. Hey, Legion. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love spending time with you. We like showing you that we're kind of dumb. We know a little bit about some wrestling. We have some funny stories, but I mean, mostly we hope that we put a smile on your face. And thank you for giving us your most precious resource, your time. Take care of each other. God bless, and we'll see you next time.
Sorry, I had to do it again. Folks, remember, tuck your chin when you bump. We'll catch you next time.